want to welcome you to this is the Namdi Okoye podcast, and actually, I wanted to review Beyonce's new album, Cowboy Carter, which dropped just on Friday, the 29th of March. And you know, I would say that I know there's a lot of big hoopla about Beyonce's going country, but I wanted to review this album not as a country album, not as a Beyonce album, but just to see actually, 27 tracks, a couple of them with interludes, and I've not really been a big fan of Beyonce's music since I Am Sasa Fierce. I think that's probably her best album, followed by her debut album. But I actually wanted to take a chance and go for each of the songs and give a fair rating with each of the tracks. I'll skip the ratings for the interludes, but also give a rating overall. So the first song, American Aquarium, gives me the vibe of Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody. And actually, it was a pretty good song. I mean, some of the songs on the album might not be obviously country. This was a really good track. Beyonce's voice is so soulful. But as I said, if you're a big fan of Queen and the whole Bohemian Rhapsody, this song would remind you of that. And I gave it a 6 out of 10. Track number two is a remake of the Beatles song Blackbird, and I didn't really understand why she did it, but she did it well. Felt like a nice 60s, 70s folk song. Wasn't a bad song, and as I said, it came out well. And she was able to feature some good artists with that track, but it was a good song, and I gave it about a 9. As I said, it was a remake, but she did a really powerful job on that. The third song, 16 Carriages, which has been out for the past 6 weeks or so, and which isn't a bad track. I think I gave it about about a 5 out of 10. As I said, it's not a bad track, but it wasn't one of my favorites. Yeah. So as I said, track five, My Rose. As I said, it was a little interlude. I didn't really want to rate the interludes. Track six, Smoke Out with Willie Nelson. So Willie Nelson somewhat introduces Texas Hold'em, and as I said, it was a nice little interlude. Texas Hold'em, which has been sort of a big track that's been out, and actually, I gave it a 7, an 8 out of 10. And one of the reasons why is because I actually like what she did. This was her first sort of big introduction to say, hey, I'm doing a country album. And I think she really did an amazing job with that. So I gave that an 8 out of 10. And it's been a really pretty good song as well. It's done really well. We got note to 8, and it's Bodyguard, which, as I said, now it didn't sound like a country track. It reminded me of the mid 90s when a group called No Doubt, sort of like 90s pop rock. I like the nice bass line. It didn't seem to fit as a country track, but then again, it was a good song. So if it was just on a different album, I would have thought, wow, awesome. But it was strange to be on this country album. But as I said, I gave it a 7 out of 10. Really liked the album, but just didn't fit in the whole country vibe. So now, as I said, but it was a really good song, Bodyguard. Track number 9, we had Dolly Parton as Dolly P, sort of giving her an introduction. And you know what, I have to say, Dolly Parton has been really, really supportive of Beyonce for a long time. Even when most of the country institutions were saying, no, why is this lady coming and doing country? Dolly Parton has been a real big supporter of Beyonce. But track 10 is the remake of Jolene. And I would say probably of all the remakes of that famous song by Dolly Parton, I think Beyonce just smashed it. Gave it a 9.5 out of 10. Really powerful rendition of Jolene. Really gave it up. Yeah, I like the whole hip hop sort of feel with it at the end. throughout the track. She did a real good job of that. So give her 9.5 out of 10 with that. Track number 11, Daughter. That was it was almost like a sort of a country opera type of track. Wasn't bad, but I gave it about a 6 out of 10. Different vibe, but I gave it about a 6 out of 10. Now we get to number 12, which is Spaghetti. Spaghetti Hetty. Yeah, it was trap music. Now, we all know about Little Nas X, trying to get into the country, and they said nope. This was Beyonce doing the trap music. I'm not a big fan of trap, so I wasn't a big fan of the song. Wasn't that it was a bad song, but it was just something that I wasn't a big fan of. So for me, it was about a 4 out of 10. It wasn't a bad song, but I just didn't really like that one. Get to number 13. This was Alligator Tears. And yeah, I mean, Alligator Tears wasn't bad, but it wasn't memorable, didn't stand out to me. Gave that about a 4 out of 10. But as I said, and one of the issues I do have when you have so many songs, not all of them are great. I think sometimes you may just less is more. But no, that was just my take on that, on Alligator Tears. Track 14, it was another interlude with Willie Nelson, Smoke Out 2. And track 15, she did a duet with Post Malone. Gave that a 7 out of 10. I actually really liked it. Liked the sort of the connection. I liked the fact she's just getting different people involved with the track. And yeah, so if you check that out, it's a nice little duet with Post Malone. Now, one of my two of the most wanted, a duet with Miley Cyrus. Really, that's probably one of my favorite on the track. I gave that a 9. Miley Cyrus has one of the most underrated voices in music today. Really distinctive, really gritty, really powerful voice. And I think she could be a major superstar if she gets the right music and gets the right direction. But let me see, it's a Beyonce song and they both teamed up well on the track. But actually, one of the things that actually I liked about the track is that it felt like Beyonce was being very vulnerable on that track. You could feel the vulnerability of her while she was recording the track. So it was a really powerful song. So check that out. To the Most Wanted with Miley Cyrus. Track number 17, she had another duet with Post Malone, Levi's Jeans. It was pretty good. I think if you remember, I think Post Malone, when he first came out, his whole sort of hip hop, rap, sort of popish kind of stuff. Levi's Jeans was really good, sort of hip hop meets country. And I think I gave that a 9 out of 10. Really solid track. And as I said, really good with what Beyonce is doing, being able to incorporate hip hop in this with country in such an amazing way. Number 18, I thought it was an okay track. Famiko, was it Famiko? Yeah, it was a 6 out of 10. Nothing really stood out. It's one of those things where if I hear it again, I might not remember what I heard it the first time. So that's why when I'm reading some of these tracks, it's like, did it hit me the first time? And I don't want to be one of those people that have to keep listening to a song over and over again to like it. I want to be able to hit it the first time and say, yeah, this is great. But as I said, 6 out of 10, not too bad. Number 19, it was an interlude. It's the Linda Martell show. So it wasn't bad, just as I said, interlude, nothing much to rate for the interludes. Number 20, Yeah. Now, if you remember Andre 2000, Outkast, they had a song called Hey Yeah. In a way, it was, had that vibe to it. It was like very 50s, 60s rock. again, it just didn't fit in a country album. It wasn't bad. The thing that I didn't like was the swearing. I did find that Beyonce, it was unnecessary to start swearing on a track. It just, I don't understand the need for her recently to start swearing on some of her tracks. But yeah, I mean, as I said, it wasn't too bad. It just didn't seem to fit as a country album. It just felt like a good, it felt like if she was going to do an album based on 60s soul and pop rock, that would have been great. Um, After that, we go into Louisiana, which is an interlude. As I said, didn't rate the interludes. Then we get into Desert Island, Desert Eagle, and that was sort of an extended interlude, which which wasn't too bad. What I did like was Riverdance. So that was another sort of hip hop country. I love the sort of the guitar, sort of the mix that was steady throughout the tracks. There was a little banjo. I gave it a 7 out of 10. Thought it was a really interesting track. The next one was Two Hands to Heaven, and it was a nice, cool vibe. Still, again, not very country sounding. As I said, if you're rating a country album, I would not really put it in there, but as a song, as I said, I gave it about a 6 out of 10. And we go into track 25, which is Tyrant. I didn't realize Dolly Parton featured on the track. It was country trap music again. A nice little bass line. It was about an 8 out of 10. Loved the song. Just didn't know if it fit, but it was a fit for a country album. As I said, but it was really good production, really good bass line as well. And we get down to the last two. Sweet Honey Buckin', produced by Pharrell. Now this song is in 3 parts. So she starts off singing about sweet, then she sings about honey, then he sings about bucking. Amazing production. So I didn't realize it was Pharrell from the Neptunes who did the production. So the production really is strong. I gave it about a 8 out of 10. Then again, I talk about swearing. Just, I didn't get the need for it in any of her songs. But as I said, really good production, really good song. And then we round up with Amen, which I gave about a 6 out of 10. It was, just sort of a closing track. I mean, altogether, I didn't listen to Renaissance, and some of the tracks I didn't like at first, but because they were played continuously, you kind of got used to them. But with Cowboy Carter, I must say that kind of impressed by what she's done. Overall, I'd probably give the album about an 8 out of 10. Really remarkable what Beyonce is able to do. The fact that she is able to take on a genre of music and not make it a gimmick, but actually really invest her time. I have no idea where she gets the time to record it as material. It's a disappointment that we don't hear her do any press or any interviews to talk about the music and stuff. But, she's releasing music continuously. And I think a lot of people are going to be really impressed by what she's done. So as I said, for me overall, I'll give the album about an 8 out of 10. I'll be interested to think of your thoughts if you listen to it. If you had a favorite song, if you can put your 5 favorite songs down, it'll be great. But as I said, I give props to Beyonce. In the comments, I'm gonna actually put my 5 favorite tracks of the album down, and see if it matches with any of the ones you guys have. But anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and yeah, good luck and congratulations, Beyonce.